If you're planning to install hardwood flooring, knowing the full cost ahead of time can save you from a lot of surprises. I'm breaking down what it really costs, materials, labor, hidden fees, so you can budget with confidence. The average price to install hardwood floors, including materials, labor, and all the prep work, usually falls between $14 to $20 per square foot here in the Raleigh area where we are located. But no matter where you live, the breakdown I'm about to show you will still be very helpful for you. Based on those numbers, if you're doing a 1,000 square foot project, you're looking at somewhere between $14,000 and $20,000. And just to clarify something, solid and engineered hardwood are actually very similar in price. But to keep this video simple and easier to follow, we're going to focus on engineered hardwood since that's what most of our clients end up going with. To understand what you're really paying for, we'll break it down step by step. And later on, I'll show you how those numbers played out in an actual project we completed. First, there's the flooring itself. Most quality engineered hardwood flooring products fall in between $6 to $10 per square foot, depending on the species you choose, the width of the planks, and the type of finish it has. For example, oak is typically more affordable, while hickory or maple costs more. Wider planks will also raise the price as well. And if you're going with something like wire brushed or UV cured, that adds to the total as well. Labor for installation usually runs around $3 to $5 per square foot, but that doesn't include prep work, and prep work is a major part of the job. In fact, I tell clients all the time that subfloor preparation is about 75% of a proper hardwood installation. That includes removing the old floors, grinding down the subfloor to eliminate high spots, applying primer, and pouring self-leveler to smooth out the low areas, and doing a final grind before we actually install the flooring. Most quotes you'll see online or from other companies won't mention any of that, and that's a problem, because if your subfloor isn't perfectly flat and properly prepped, you can end up with bouncy spots, squeaky floorboards, gaps that show up in a few months, or even complete failure down the road. That's why we include subfloor grinding and leveling in every job we do, because we know skipping it always leads to issues. Now let's talk about the finishing touches. The stuff that a lot of contractors conveniently leave off their quotes, they come back and charge you for it later. Trim and transitions can usually run $600 to $1,200 depending on the layout. If removing furniture, that can be another $300 to $800. Removing and reinstalling toilets or fridges adds about $100 to $250 per item. Then there's disposal of your old flooring, which is often another few $100s. These costs are real and they add up fast. So when a company gives you a quote that seems way lower than everyone else's, it usually means they're leaving out all this stuff and it'll come back to bite you later. We had a client not long ago who needed to redo their entire first floor after it got water damaged. Their original budget was $25,000, but when we walked them through the full scope of work, their quote came in closer to $30,000. That included a wide plank European oak floor, all of the subfloor prep, moving their furniture and appliances, installing new trim, everything. What really surprised them was our process. They told us none of the other companies even mentioned grinding or leveling. That's what gave them the confidence to work with us, even though we weren't the cheapest. And that's something I see all the time. Homeowners go with a company that's $2,000 to $3,000 cheaper, and then call us back when something goes wrong. They end up dealing with uneven floors, hollow sounds, or gaps between boards. And by the time they realize what's wrong, fixing it costs more than doing it right the first time. So I always tell people, don't just compare price, compare the actual scope of work. Now let's walk through an actual 1,000 square foot flooring project that we recently completed for a full price breakdown. The engineered hardwood flooring came out to $6.85 a square foot. This was for a 1/2 inch thick floor and a 7 inch by 72 inch long plank. The glue came out to $220 per bucket. This is where a lot of companies try to save money by only nailing down the floor instead of fully gluing it down. Gluing down the floor prevents squeaks in the future, so we always do a glue down application when installing engineered hardwood. The trim came out to $150, and the self-leveler was 85 cents per square foot. The total cost for materials came out to $9,037. Now let's look at all the labor. Carpet removal is 50 cents a square foot. The installation of the flooring itself was $3.35 a square foot. Shoe molding installation is $1.70. Moving the furniture came out to 50 cents a square foot, and the grinding came out to 75 cents a square foot. So the total labor cost came out to $5,610, and a total project price of $16,191 including tax, which comes out to about $16 a square foot all in. But cost is just one piece of the puzzle. If you really want to protect your investment, make sure you watch this video next, because it shows you exactly what you need to know before hiring a flooring company and the red flags most people miss.